drifted alarmingly in the betting was, Felsted in the morning continued to drift. It was late on the exchanges to lose. It was something you'd see in a Dick Francis novel, Charles Buttons.
The ground is soft. It's not.
It's heavy.
Soft on times.
It's heavy.
Okay.
Hello, well, welcome to Bar Steward's Inquiry Sunday Sermon. Yes, the worst weekend of the year, and we'll still try and make you smile despite the utter shitness of the entire game this week. Plenty of talking points, thanks to your questions, and also what John stuck in his Twitter advert. So we're going to get through them. There's not really much of a racing review to go through because, well, John, the Shergar Cup. It's been an event I've never got the concept. I don't know why they persist with it. The only reason I defended it slightly back in the day was when it seemed to attract mainstream media coverage.
Yes.
But now mainstream media, like, hate racing with a passion.
Yeah.
It doesn't make the news anymore. It used to make, if, say, for Europe or rest of the world won or whatever, that's how they play it. And I don't know.
It's only there now for, like, the racing media lovies and Hayley Turner. In all fairness, Hayley's had the best day she's had since the day when Jamie Spencer was on 3 declared non-runners and Emma had gone shopping.
Brilliant. What a line. That's the line of the week. I'll challenge any other pod to come up with one better than that. John, I've not seen much of it today because I've been forking my bollocks. In all truth, Solomon, I did watch that race and it was given a dreadful ride. Surely that could be Melrose Bound, ridden by that idiot.
Well, yeah, I wonder if the idiot will come with it. Later the day in any Melrose, wouldn't it, with him on? Man, God, what a race.
That's still a contender for me. So it'd be interesting if the shirt is going.
I think next year the jockeys at the Shergar Cup are going to be straight from Remploy.
Who won then?
The girls won it and Turner won the silver saddle.
Silver saddles you get for most winners or most points.
Yeah.
No,
Queen of the Shergar Cup. Yeah. What an epitaph for a career.
The prettiest girl in Dundee, as I've said before. A low bar.
Let's say she's got XY chromosomes.
XY or ex-wife? Which one?
Well, yeah, that. Chris, what are you saying about the whole Shergar Cup? Sort of?
Well, I mean, I echo everyone else's sentiments other than the people that organise it. It's a non-event, isn't it? And it's like the racing league. It serves no purpose other than to provide a jolly nice day out for racing's fourth estate. It's as a betting medium, it's rubbish, and all of the hype is all confected, isn't it? Silver saddle, girls team, overseas team. No one cares, do they? It's rubbish. It's like racing league. No one gives a fuck whether it's north, south, east, or west. Who cares? No one. We're all doomed. It's all fucking collapsing. It is.
We're cheering her up.
It's like a fucking book of Revelation. I'm beginning to think that's a documentary, not a fucking book in the Bible. Boiling seas, fucking everything.
If you're looking to this show for a kick, you've got one, but you've had it in bollocks.
That's good. It's people listen to it. Thank fuck I'm not like them. It's good. It's motivational, isn't it? Yeah. There you go.
Shergar Cup and Racing League are heavily criticised by a lot of regular patrons that never seem to get listened to. But yet it's still ploughed on and pushed on and promoted as if it's absolutely number one and brilliant for racing, John.
Some of them people are still in key positions and they can't afford to be seen to have failed. So it'll stick. You want hope, really. So the next chief exec comes in and says, right, we're having a proper fucking clear out here. Great British Racing can go for this shit. Shergar Cup can, Racing League can, and Premierisation can. And we start properly. And the tracks are coming into land because if they don't, they can't race under rules. And that's a base, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm afraid that when you've got the same sort of employees in organisations that just seem to replace each other, you are literally going to cook up the same omelette, aren't you? There's nothing going to be...
Because they're bureaucrats, Lee. These people that head organisations like the BHA and in other sports too, they're bureaucrats. They're not visionaries and they're not leaders. And the mandate of a bureaucrat is to basically contain and maintain the status quo for the next person. They're not mandated to really change anything, merely kind of ensure that it doesn't collapse or implode. So you're never going to get that kind of seismic change that the sport needs. And that's the problem, because the last person holding the parcel, corporate parcel, will find that there's no one left to pass it to. And that's the problem. We're at that stage now.
We are indeed. Racing turnover, of course, is down this year, which I'll come on to that later in the show. Just a point from you, Bears, who's been on, and he said, how much do you think the Sky Sports Racing Buzzwire Challenge enhanced the Shergar Cup Day coverage? Do you know if there are any plans for a Kaplunk Challenge to be part of next year's live event? I haven't seen it. What's a Buzzwire Challenge?
Yeah, it's the fairground game, isn't it? Where you get the sort of the curly kind of electrified piece of wire, and you have to sort of pass the loop round it without touching it. I think that's what Buzzwire is, isn't it?
Jockeys actually did that, and it electrocuted them. Fantastic.
Yeah,
that is
that's
telling.
good. Yeah, we'll have that. We're up for that. Yeah. Mousetrap with real people.
And
I reckon
pundits
that'd
as
be
well,
good.
yeah.
I thought it was something where you put a plastic bag over your head and Megan Nichols garroted you with a cheese wire.
Well, no, that's only if you're a Tory MP, isn't it? You're wearing a fucking orange in your mouth or whatever. Or like David Carradine, remember in Kung Fu?
Oh, God, yeah.
Self sort of asphyxiation in a wardrobe in some fucking travel lodge in Bangkok or wherever. Honestly.
Yeah, they didn't take the cunt out of there with that in the temple, did they?
No, they did. That was the missing episode, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the resounding opinion, I think, of most people that take part in the sport in terms of having a bet are certainly what I can see and read on social media are much against this concept and always have been. So why the sporting powers don't seem to listen, although, John, you spotted Chapman this morning, and I saw your tweet calling out the BHA. Tell us more about that.
The BHA man actually deigned to give Chapman an interview this morning, which I was quite surprised about anyway.
Yes, very.
He sort of kept it in reserve and then bowled an absolute googly about nobody's actually promoting any betting. And it's betting that we need. And whether it was time that was a factor or not, I don't know. He didn't press up when the BHA more or less said, oh, well, we're looking to improve betting and get more people. That was about the end of the interview, and it would have been nice to see it go on for another 3 or 4 minutes after that. And Chapman to say, well, give us some examples of what you're actually doing to increase betting. But we didn't get that far, I'm afraid. But he did bowl them googly. So we'd probably have to wait another 8 months for one of them to appear on there.
But as we've already discussed on this show many a time, it doesn't matter if I come in. There's nothing I can do because of affordability checks. So how that can increase turnover when you're basically watching everyone spends and, oh no, that's too much. You're not coming on the other side of the coin saying you're not having enough on. It can only go one way. It can only go one way. And that's where I am amazed the incumbents, the housekeepers, if you like, I've never said anything derogatory towards them and how damaging it's going to be for racing and bang the drum at least to Westminster. I mean, Greg Swift, they've got that fella supposedly with the ins at Westminster. Well, that's not done anything throughout.
Either they don't know or they don't understand. They are not technically savvy enough. They don't appreciate the enormity of the threat that's on the horizon, or they realise that there's nothing they can do anyway. So they just might as well try and string it out for as long as they can. Maybe they feel that the previous incumbents have painted the new management team into a corner from which they cannot get out.
I think they'll know, Chris, because even the bloke that delivers Julie's peanut butter and banana sandwiches on a morning will have said, right, fucking hell, these affordability checks are going to do you some damage, aren't they?
Yeah, you'd hope so.
It should have been made aware.
So then that must lead you inevitably to the conclusion is that they know the game's up. Because, you know, the lack of activity, the petition and all this kind of stuff, all that kind of frenetic activity is gone now. That momentum, that tiny bit of momentum that was building, that's gone. I think they realise that it's just finished, though. They might as well just try and squeeze it for everything that's left.
There's certainly a few that seems to be abandoning ship this year at the head of the Jockey Club and at the head of course, the BHA. So
the ones that remain will vote through a big pension increase next, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yes. I would say on that footing, there's little anyone can do unless you get rid of this ridiculous affordability check system. Then we've said it many a time. There's no point carrying on that on what we can do. Stephen Thomas has added sort of fuel to the fire this week in terms of like what's taken place with the Racing League, John, the sheep, the disgraceful going description.
It just basically hit the nadir this week, didn't it? The Racing League. Probably at the crappiest course it'll be run from all season. Nobody ever wants to bet at Chepstow anyway. The idiots that did on the morning got royally shafted. And then to add to the comedy, you got Chris the Sheep and his mates ploughing alone for up the stand side and turning the already sodden ground over. Terrible business, really.
Yeah. To be honest, it's not a concept that another one like the Shergar Cup. Team things don't work for me.
Well, here's a concept for you about the racing league, Ray.
Yeah.
Right? If it mattered in the slightest, where is the clamour for Leona Mayer to be sacked as Yorkshire manager?
Is she bottom? I've not seen any tables.
Miles bottom. Relegation zone, tail.
I don't think they've had many runners though, have they yet? I think
Get Big Sam in, he'll fucking save him from relegation. Honestly, get Allardyce in.
You know what I'm saying? If anybody gave a shit, somebody would be saying, well, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Mayor out.
That's it in a nutshell. Nobody cares. There's no buy-in. There's nothing.
Nobody cared in Middlesbrough 5 years ago, but it was Pulis out.
I think that's it. I sort of missed the point there in a way, in that it isn't just about the ejected from a job because they've not got enough points, but the fact that if you compare it to football, like they're trying to do team games, then surely the manager's under pressure.
Rubbish. It's entirely artificial, isn't it? It's confected, sort of mild peril, isn't it? That's what they're trying to inject. It's rubbish. It's just nobody cares about it. And even the people that are the biggest cheerleaders for the sport, even they're tweeting like, "Oh, this isn't very good." It's losing its appeal even with those people that were staunch advocates of it now.
The thing for me is, as looking for opportunities to bet, I find it a real big turn-off. Not just because of the team aspect and the coverage of it, which I'm not a massive fan of, but it's the actual betting opportunities. They're very tough races, or they seem to be, because obviously they're racing for better money. And I know we clamber for better prize money, which is obviously needed, but at the same time, it doesn't want me to put my money down on the exchange.
Just at that level, it's fucking hard to work out.
Well, you're dealing with like half lengths and necks between them, and if this horse does this right, this will win. Yeah. Mostly 4-1 the field.
Graded card on a Tuesday morning at Crayford, isn't it? That's what it is.
It's one of them where it's 7-2 the field at Crayford.
Best drag wins, and none of the jockeys know the horses.
No,
the recipe for disaster.
If there's an headwind, the idiots going from front have blown your money, and if there's a tailwind, them that skin too much are the same. You're asking them to be brains, and at 4-1 the field races, there's so little margin. It's just a bookie's benefit for me. I don't tend to look at it unless there's something that's seriously in my radar, but then I'll play. But other than that, it is a turn off. Samuel the Cat, early question. It's not one of the usual thought-probing ones. I think he's a little fed up. And he said, does anyone find it annoying the racing media are totally controlling the sport? They're ignoring betting, strange going changes, promoting stuff like Racing League, Shergar Cup, Gosden, jockeys, or trainers' championships. He's been listening to you there, telling us to not criticise jockeys. Do they just hate us?
Yeah, probably.
They do. They actually do, I think.
Well, we know they hate us.
Oh, yeah. Mostly.
No, I think we're great, obviously. But everyone else, I hope, really.
But the thing for me is, I'm sorry, even though like Chapman has started doing a little more, and I have seen him do it like on other things as well. He has done a bit, and don't forget, he got his show pulled for the very thing that is here now: affordability checks. They didn't like it. Sky Bet not having any of that. You're not doing that, and that was it. He was canned literally after that show. But then that's the point. Every single one of them, every single racing pundit, is sponsored by a bookmaker or a big court bookmaker. That's where you've got them all. The hamstrung. Ed Chamberlain himself has Sky Bet. Go through every single one of them. They've all got...
Bought and paid for, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's not a value judgment against them. That's a statement of fact. They are bought and paid for.
I don't know what they get paid, but let's say Ed gets, 50 grand a year from Sky Bet.
It might be considerably less. It might be a sort of a small stipend. You don't know. But a sum of money has gone from them to him.
Which means all of a sudden you are now compromised. You cannot criticise that brand or person. So if that brand or person does something, like, for example, recent big court book have been refusing to bet on certain arc tracks and things like that, overnight betting for punters, like they've not been pricing up. So
can I just give my sort code out if somebody wants to compromise me?
I'm going to say you sound like Chris here.
Soviet agents, we're
Yeah.
waiting for the call.
You do realise that Chris and John would just leave me in an heartbeat.
Fucking right, in a heart, we turn like fucking milk. Honestly, yeah, fuck that cunt. We'll say, yeah, we'll take the money. Yeah, Paddy Power, great, love it. We'll promote anything, absolutely anything for money.
I'd be just sat here on my own.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be a terrible show, because of course it's the fun that makes it.
On the upside, Lee, you would be racing's Mr. Integrity, wouldn't you?
You would.
Well, I am, because
we'd be doing you a favour, mate. Think we wouldn't be betraying you for a few quid.
Yeah, well,
we'd be sort of painting you as.
I bet you're the next chair of the VH. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sam the Cat, obviously this all is hush-hush because we don't rename the companies, but we've turned down 2 betting companies to sponsor the show.
Have we? Fucking bastard. Never told me. Fucking now. Oh, it's ruined my weekend now, that is.
You must have missed that. So, yeah, 2 betting companies, and that's because...
It was bigger money for Sherman fellas as well, Chris.
Well, yeah. Chris, I'll fuck you right there.
Yeah, he fucking done me, dirty, no good bastard. Honestly, ruined everything now. But no, your point is a solid one, because at minute, whatever the sum of money, whether it's sort of 50 quid, 100 quid, 10 grand, that it moderates what you can say. Because you'll be saying, well, you don't really want to bite the sort of hand that feeds you. And so it makes you sort of apply a filter, doesn't it? As to the opinions you're prepared to express. And it's difficult.
Sure.
But you're still a bastard, though, anyway.
Yeah, this is Chris now, really. He's upset with me.
Fucking, I'm going on mute now. Fuck you.
And to be fair, it would have been for the sermon, because obviously we don't do the Friday show, and everything else we do.
Worse. I wouldn't have to share it, would we?
So anyway, we need gin companies and things like that, and
gin companies, yeah, that's what we need, and ice lolly firms as well. That's what we need.
Absolutely. Aldi Valencia, the Aldi employees, senior exec listeners,
chocolate,
the Valencia lollies got a mention this week in our mention, saying they thoroughly enjoyed the orange Aldi Valencia lollies. So Aldi, get your finger out. We'll start promoting a few of your.
Send us a box.
Yeah, just have a little box of orange lollies. Anyway, product placement. Good question, Sam the Cat. Coming on to Gosden, right?
He hasn't asked a question yet. Laugh afterwards. Yeah, go on.
John, does Gosden get like a free pass from media, in your opinion?
God, yeah. Of course he does. I mean, this has been laughable this week, hasn't it? I mean, he gets a glowing article in the Post saying, the jockey's done nothing wrong. Yet, why hasn't he stood up with Chaverley Park? I mean, they were saying, well, Gosden stands by his man. Well, I'm old enough to remember when Peter Walwyn stood by his man when Wildenstein wanted Pat Edry off Buckskin, and Wildenstein took the fucking lot away. But Walwyn wasn't having it. He said, you fucking take them, lad. Gosden gets a glowing article in the Post. Oh, it's standing by Shoemark and all this. It's not standing by somebody, that's just standing on the sidelines trying to look clever.
The problem is with Shoemark, and I know people are getting tired of this sort of debate by now, but just the problem with it, it's not really him. He is what he is. I don't think he's done much wrong.
This shouldn't have even got to this stage, like.
No.
This should have all been dealt with in-house. They should have been sitting the lad down, talking him through the races, working on it. And if any pressman care what the Gosden asked him about it, he should have just told him about fuck off, end of, and kept a lid on it. But because he's having a shit season, he's keeping the can of worms half open, just in case.
Well, that's to take pressure off owners giving it him, innit? Different owners, etc. But he might have thrown him under a bus now with that, and some other owners might think, well, if they've done it, I'm going to do it. Tricky one. I mean, jockeys or trainers championships. Is anyone interested?
No.
Yeah, jockeys and trainers and their families.
That's the extent of it, isn't it?
And lazy bastards in the racing press.
They did used to be interested in it, like from back in the day. Where's the interest drop? Because I always remember Edry and Cortland when they went head to head, right, literally till last couple of days, and I was just
because it was a bit interesting in them days. You knew that given half a chance, Noddy might put Cortland over the railing somewhere.
Cock of the North, Eddie Hyde and Mark Birch. That used
Yeah.
to sort of...
Yeah.
There was a bit of rivalry, and it could get a bit intense.
Is that it now, though? Are the jocks mostly soulless? Like,
Yeah.
It's gone. The soul's
They
just
are
drifted
dead.
off.
There's no personalities in the way around, is there?
No.
No. I mean, Oisin Murphy talks like AI, didn't he? Don't you think?
What, Irish AI?
It's like fucking like sort of computer simulated sort of that kind of speech pattern. It's obviously been well drilled with PR people, but it just doesn't sound natural, does it? It's very peculiar. I think he's fucking AI generated. I don't think he actually exists personally.
No.
Honestly.
There used to be more personality come through from Piggott's interviews, and you needed subtitles for them.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
They were incredible. I've seen some stuff on YouTube and that, and honestly, you have to play it back sometimes 2 or 3 times just to get a paragraph right, what he said. Incredible.
You should have been there a couple of times when he got off one and he's telling you about it.
What did it go like, John? Just give us an impression.
Well, that's him gone.
Thanks for that, yeah.
Very insightful, thanks. He knew it was all right, like, because he rings up in a fortnight, want to get back on it.
Yeah, that's why you knew to bet it when he's ringing you back up.
Yeah.
Telling us not to criticise jockeys, a lot of media pundits and things like that. Is criticising jockeys a thing, like, from the media? Do they just...
He's a bombshell. David Jennings wrote a good article.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, saying that criticism is fine, abuse isn't. And, I mean, it's right, isn't it?
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock, yeah.
Criticise aspects of a ride. Why not? Footballers get it, cricketers get it in spades.
Yeah, they get abuse as well, don't they, in spades, the cricket and football.
I mean, why the hell not? What makes them special? I mean, trainers, Jesus Christ, trainers get away with miles more than jockeys.
Yeah, they do. In fact, I can't ever remember a trainer being criticised by any member of the media, and that's genuine. I cannot remember one instance. Can you?
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it?
Can you, any of you, at the top of your head, remember a pundit saying, "Oh, that was bad placement by X"? Or
you'd have pundits on podcasts maybe saying, "I'm not came back in his arses or whatever."
Yeah,
actual mainstream pundits. Wow, geez.
No. Does not happen on mainstream TV or, in fact, anywhere in the mainstream. Yeah, you'll get podcast people like us will say, yeah, this, that, and the other. But the mainstream, no one ever criticises anybody.
The deepest thing you'll get on a trainer is he doesn't get the horses he deserves.
Yeah, but when you send him one, he can do the job.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, they're all brilliant, aren't they? They're all fucking fantastic. But they can't be all fantastic. People won't be unkind, but people like Mick Shannon, who isn't a fucking rocket scientist, made a very, very good living from training racehorses. Now, good footballer, etc., but it shows you that the skill set required to make an okay living with the right patronage isn't that great. Yes, to be at the very top of the apex of the pyramid, yeah, you have to be really special, Aidan O'Brien's, blah, blah, blah. But for the vast rumper trainers, if you've got solid patronage with loyal owners, you can make a fucking good living without actually being that brilliant. So they can't all be great, can they?
If you had the right staff, I mean, I think you'd get away with 3 months without anybody knowing you took over.
Yeah. But precisely, you get the team, loyal / stupid owners that'll keep sending you horses every year, you can make a decent living. Pretty much. I don't think you need to be brilliant. I'd even go as far as to say a lot of people with quite basic equine knowledge, with a decent team, good marketing skills to attract owners, could probably bluff it as a mid-ranking flat trainer or jumps trainer. I mean that. You don't need to be a horseman. You really don't, to get by.
Going on to another point now in racing is the racing fixture list was announced for 2025, and there's been some floating criticism of it that it doesn't alter the direction of travel, one of our favourite sayings.
Word salad.
Yeah, you see, I do well at the Beatrice.
You would. By yourself, you're going to do greatly. Honestly, next Sunday when you're there by yourself, you're going to do fine. Honestly.
Yeah. So Amy Murphy, racehorse trainer, she was absolutely scathing, and Stephen Thomas pointed this out on next year's fixture list, saying that it's going to do nothing. They're losing owners. They're losing good horses to abroad. Obviously, we know this. The 3-year-olds get sold to King Kong and Australia, the good ones, because when you get to 90 plus at 3, the prize money out there is ridiculous. It's the fact that there's not much change in 2025, John. I think, does that spell more decline in the sport?
It's just endemic, isn't it? Unless you had a massive clear out at High Hope on This is just what we're going to get more and more of.
We need one of them Miley Cyrus on a wrecking ball to blast in through building, don't we? And take them all out.
You do, but in racing's case, it should be a naked Norman Macaulay on the wrecking ball.
What, saddled back by Bob Cooper?
Oh, yeah.
Right, what an image. You can draw that now on AI, probably.
Oh, Jesus.
Please don't. Please don't.
What an image.
We're going to get some T-shirts done.
Yeah, Bar Stewart's T-shirts, mugs.
As unkind, she probably was a salt when she was a younger woman. I'm sure she was. It's just you're fucking ageist, you lot are. Just she was an old girl when she was sort of a trainer.
Yeah, agree. We are ageist. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to go to the oven at some point or down below. That's the only certainty.
Lucky we're all so handsome that we can get away with comments like this, you see.
Absolutely. Yeah, when you look younger than your age by about, 6 months.
Yeah, that's 6 days, yeah.
Great point, Stephen Thomas.
I've got clothes that still fit me from 30 years ago. It's just they're old ties.
Yeah, snap. Giacomo here, is it?
Yeah, Giacomo, yeah.
They do like 4, 5, 6 XL.
Yeah, they do. Fat bastard size, don't they? That enormous trousers like fucking sails from ships.
Yeah,
from
clown trousers and shirts that actually don't show that you've got big tits.
Jeff Cakes would fucking be swallowed up by those
that
shirts.
firm that make the tents, fucking Fast 10 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, when it gets windy, you start to... Woo.
Yeah, front stuff, yeah.
Latest fashions will be on parade at the week after next at the event.
Absolutely, at York. And oh yeah, before we come on to Tony Harding and his fantastic blog that I'm going to talk about in a second, don't forget that York is coming up soon. And our plans are an anti-post show next Friday. So that'll be Friday the 16th of August, and it will be focusing on York anti-post. So don't forget to join us for that, because that will be full of very, very good insight where you'll be able to nick a few odds. And that show will only be available on Patreon. It won't be release free, because obviously we have to look after the people that support us also. And then the following week, of course, for you guys that aren't paying whatever, you will get your pods. We're doing 2 pods at York next week on the Tuesday night, I believe, for Wednesday, Thursday and Friday's racing. And then we're doing a pod on Friday evening for Saturday Ebo Day. And if you'd like to join me and John and come and say hi, you can do. Wednesday, me and John will be in the middle, scoffing expensive Marks and Spencer's picnics and having a lovely old relaxed day in the middle, which is, it's lovely to do that. It's not too busy and it's nice.
I hope it pisses with fucking rain. I really do. I hope it's like monsoons and you're out standing there, you're Giacomo.
Midget pies and a tartan flask of gin and tonic.
Yeah.
Tartan travel blanket, on the ground. Yeah. And a tin of fucking barley sugars in the glove box. Yeah.
And Thursday, we shall be in the county stand enclosure and we park ourselves like the good old big battleship that's retired in Pearl Harbor that sits
dry
there
dock.
forever. Yeah, in dry dock. Park ourselves on the champagne lawn.
The dock's not very fucking dry where you are.
Scuttled on the main lawn, that'd be you too.
Yeah. The Flying Frankie, that's where we sit near so we can watch the racing on the screen, etc. And obviously a lot of people do come to our table, apart from that tight Jeff Banks, a disgrace of a bookmaker that promises champagne every year, delivers absolutely nothing. Awful human being. Promises it, says he's going to come and see us. He never does.
He will do. It'll be a tiny bottle of pomade or something. One of those little miniatures, won't it?
Yeah,
you know that.
It's like them.
Yeah, pomade now. I don't know if they still do pomade.
Well, family, weren't it? When they all said, "Get the pomade out, Barbara."
Yeah, get the pomade out. Yeah, like baby sham, isn't it? Rubbish. Yeah.
That's the plans for York. So coming on to Tony Harding, he's a good listener and he used to own plenty of horses. I don't know if he still does, he might do, but I know for a fact he's pissed off with the game. And he's come up with a 6-point plan that he thinks would really revamp racing. So I'm going to run each point past you. And you can say it's rubbish or whatever, that's fantastic. Right, so easy to do 6-point plan. Entrance admission, free entry to more meetings, proper incentives like 3 for 2 tickets used across a season, over 50s, £5 tickets for midweek, etc. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Thumbs up.
Yeah, definitely thumbs up to that.
Number 1, thumbs up, you get Tony. Number 2, track experience. Improve the facilities at tracks. Surely we can do better than a soggy burger in a back. Take a lead off Kelso. More variety and good local vendors allowed to trade for nominal fees.
Excellent.
Better value on the catering, where you probably get local butcher meat and stuff like that for your burgers.
Absolutely excellent.
Yeah.
I've pointed out to Rector on numerous occasions that the Saltman Food Festival has various local vendors and that, and it'd be a fantastic thing to get them all there for one of the Redcar meetings. They're still inert on it.
Good stuff this, Tony. You're 2 from 2. On-course betting. There are less and less on-track bookies. They pay excessively to be on track. Cut that in half or more for the smaller meetings. So you get more bookmakers bothering to turn up so they can try and make a reasonable crust. I agree. Racegoers come to bet, and the thrill of the ring. People who bet in bigger amounts can also get on, rather than the account restrictions that they suffer online. I think that's very good again. Chaps, any thoughts?
Yeah, no criticism there. Cracker.
I'd have the same number of pitches where I'd get twice as many bookies there, and I'd make them joke it out before the first to say who gets a pitch.
Why not?
Like one at representatives from firm to go in a big mud wrestling pit or something.
It was saying tramp fight on the internet where
Yeah.
we come out with a diner with a fucking mail and there's 2 tramps there and say, right, the winner gets it. And go at it.
That'll be us in a couple of fucking weeks, won't it?
Yeah.
Tramp
It
fight.
will.
Concept.
Number 4 of his 6-point plan, racecourses. Racecourses should be rewarded for putting on better racing and experiences with a varied reward levy based on feedback. A bit like a sales target. The better you do, the more you get back in a quarter or a year. I think that's brilliant.
That's kind of real world economics, real world commerce, isn't it? You're rewarded for providing great service and fantastic product to your punters. That kind of metric seems to be lacking in racing, doesn't it? E.g. Shergar Cup, Racing League, etc. So yeah, thumbs up to that.
Yeah, if you're basically all your customers are giving like great responses, and you're encouraging your customers to give responses and say, look, respond to this and we'll give you a free pint, like at the bar. In other words, you want more positive responses.
If there's any racecourses listening that want to employ us just to fucking send loads of reviews from our review factory, get in touch. We'll sit there all fucking
Bulgarian bot farm.
Yeah, 5-star. I like very much the horse racing, yes. Lad in fucking from Redcar. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. John, do you like that?
I think you should get this fella on the show and I could just fuck off and watch Tipping Point or something.
Number 5, prize money. A minimum value added of 10k for every national hunt race. That is 60 to 70k of the levy fee, and 2 races per day that exceed 15k added if there are 8 runners or more. Larger meetings should pay appearance money to owners, some do already, £250 upwards for all weekend fixtures. Tony's mainly a national hunt owner, and the point that he's making here is that national hunt horses can't run as often as flat horses. So when you've got like prize money that he's sort of similar as flat horses that can run a lot more often, he's saying it's not fair on the national hunt owners to a degree. So thoughts on that?
He's wasted doing them cartoons on page 9 of the Telegraph, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah. Clearly, we're not used to this degree of erudition, are we? Really, he's kind of sort of done on knees a bit, isn't he? Really, it's a bit serious. This you should just say no. That's bollocks. Fuck off, rubbish. No old shit. What's he on about?
Just start going about National Trust for a bit, Chris, and say, just do that.
More National Trust. I'll pick garden centres. That's where you want to be going.
Yeah.
Garden centres on a Tuesday. That's your demographic. Honestly,
just before they die.
Just before they die, just before the cafe opens, when they're queuing for the fucking 2-for-1 lattes or whatever, you can get them there.
Ownership. Cut out some of the admin charges for owners. Understand that in this era, technology has simple solutions. £165, for example, to keep the same colours every year and to register your horse with the same trainer. Come on, BHA, get a grip. Well,
that's disgusting. Yeah,
I agree. I've suffered this as an owner for many years. And the BHA admin charges are absolutely abhorrent. I know why, because I've seen the BHA accounts and they're skint. But they're skint probably because they send us legal letters and things like that.
Yes. I mean, that's someone's time of 9 hours drafting fucking 5 pages of bollocks. Isn't it?
Long since we had a 28 million floor. They must have sent us a lot of letters. I don't think you've told us about them.
Who've had the letterbox nailed up? They're not getting them all now, isn't it?
So the BHA do need to get a grip on that. It's terrible for owners, that. And he finishes by saying, nothing in the above list is hard to do. Transparency is also key. There are far too many cooks with their hands in the pot. It is not all about the money, or are we just going to do nothing?
I'd love the BHA to come on and answer these points. Why aren't you doing these?
There are fine tweaking with these points, like we've talked about the Bulgarian bot farms.
Yes.
If Chris was switched on, he'd like go to Betfred, go to his local track at Chelmsford and say, right, we're going to get all the Bulgarian bot farms giving 10,000 positive reviews.
Yes, in an hour. More reviews than there are punters.
There are tweaks to be made, but I love the point about some kind of a sales target in terms of if you are looking after the punters, you're keeping the punters interested and happy with the product, then you should get more rewards on the levy. What a great idea. Point number 4 was brilliant, I felt, but would need tweaking in terms of stopping the com merchants.
Fantastic range of suggestions, that, really.
It is the best we've had, and it's better than we can cope with. So
yes, but that's not difficult.
It's not at all. No. So well done, Toney Harding.
Mr. Shifter from PG Tips could have fucking come up with better than we come up with. Remember the one with the old bowler hat who moves the piano? Remember that?
You want me? I'll play it.
Yeah, well, we always said we're shit at it.
It's the taste, yeah.
One more serious topic before the funnies. A couple of funnies we've got left. The Gamblers Consumer Forum, Woody's been on to me. He basically has sent me a mail regarding a freedom of information request that they obtained about the Gambling Commission and the failure to pass on information to the DCMS regarding the gambling survey where 12,000 punters responded. 78% obviously were against affordability checks. 14% only said they would provide information if it was requested, affordability checks. It appears from the Freedom of Information request that they have never been in dialogue with DCMS at any point regarding this survey. So that's pretty damning from both sides, because why are the DCMS not asking for that, right, as part of the white paper? And secondly, why are the GC not sending them that? Again, so we know there's an agenda, and this is particularly concerning because horse racing turnover this year is down 9.7%. So the BHA, that are clearly saying that they're going to improve betting and promotion of betting, how is that going to take place, guys, with figures like this? And what the damning information here on the Gambling Commission?
There's a book, though, isn't there? Remember a couple of months ago when racing got that bonus $5 million because the returns were up?
Yeah.
Nothing to do with turnover. Bookies have won more.
Yeah.
Business going well. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good point. So the model of targeting losers, the problem is, though, if you keep targeting losers and don't...
Until they're all got skint and pissed off.
Yeah, if I could just sit down with the BHA and just say...
Short-termism, isn't it?
If I said this simple matter of fact, your model's good there, right? So you think it is, and you've took the 5 million bonus payment or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What you've not taken into account is that because turnover's getting less, eventually you'll run out of wagons that are feeding the big corp system. The wagons will get less.
It's a classic Ponzi scheme, isn't it? As long as you've got an infinite supply of marks, you're not going to lose. But no Ponzi scheme lasts forever because eventually people want their money back or they just stop investing.
You cannot support a system where it doesn't allow a winner to participate in that sport. It doesn't work because then there's no interest. Eventually, everyone then says, oh, yeah, betting is a mug game, isn't it? What happens if you win? Well, you get banned anyway, so what's the point? Eventually, that sticks like through generations, and eventually you just end up with degenerates spinning slot machines, which is, of course, what they want, and a few wagons left following Blogger. That's it. There's no getting away from that. So, unfortunately, chaps, there's no good news on that front, other than that the GC clearly are agenda-ridden.
Wankers.
Going to take racing down a very dark place, but the BHA could, of course, help that slow down, at least slow down on that by their language, which they've used with the GC over the last couple of years. Couple of good questions. Luke Tucker's been on. There's two similar questions, actually. So he says, do you remember the programme Celebrity Deathmatch? If you had to do a racing episode, how would you have the matchup? Who would you put in the matchups?
Okay.
Racing Celebrity Deathmatch. 2 figures There's a few in there. I mean, you could say, I'd love to see Calvin and Dave Yates bare-chested.
Yeah.
Going at it. I think John would as well.
Bare-chested pushing it a bit.
Yeah. I don't think we want the bare-chested so much.
You get this going in a very dark place there, Lee.
Well, probably in a mud pit. I'd like to see him in a mud pit.
Tracy and Leona Mayer in a mud pit. How about that? They are. That's my pick.
I know on pay-per-view things, if it were pay-per-view...
There's no obvious goods
Calvin
there,
and Yates.
You just want to get on Racing Creeps, that's all. That would be the pinnacle, wouldn't it?
That's a Racing Creeps audio, but yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, that would be my nomination.
That'd get nasty as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, oh, yeah, it'd be like fucking hair being pulled a lot. It'd be magic, that,
Yeah,
honestly.
fucking... Some aggro there.
Yeah, make it happen. My idea, Foxy Boxing. How about that? Leona Mayer, Kate Tracy, Francesca in a Foxy box-off. How about that?
Megan Nichols. Yeah.
We're descending into pure filth, eh?
I want to be the Don King of sexualised violence, honestly. I want to get the hair as everything.
Well, we've had a bloke beating a woman up in the Olympics. So
so why not?
Does it matter?
These are biological women. What's wrong with that? Nothing
John,
wrong with
you must have a good two you'd like to see.
I think possibly Stouty and Matt Chapman.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I think that'd be good for a couple of straight rights and a follow-up left.
Yeah. Stouty hates Chapman, doesn't he? Absolutely despises Chapman.
Why does he hate him? Is there a backstory to that, or is it just...
No, you just think he's an idiot, I think.
He just won't have a bar of him, will he? He won't, like,
Wonder why.
He doesn't like the hype, does he? And Matt hypes every statement up. I think that's sort of rubs him the wrong way, doesn't it?
Yeah. Right, just before we go on to the last one thing I'd forgot about, James Knight, the taker of bad takes,
fucking hell, yeah,
has been on Twitter box and stated that there's nothing wrong. In fact, it's a good prize that Nottingham Racecourse let them eat cheesecake. As a prize, as a winning owner, you get a cheesecake.
I'm with James on this. I made the trek to Wolverhampton with Benji Ben one year to watch his horse run. It won, and he got like this ashtray thing.
Gorilla's hand ashtray, yeah.
Yeah, I'd much preferred a massive great cheesecake with congratulations written on it in nutmeg.
Chris, I can imagine you love a good bit of food. And...
You know, ashtray, I'm on the vapes now, so I don't need an ashtray. That's why I'm irritable all the time. So the fags are gone. Don't need an ashtray. I need a massive fucking cheesecake, like a lorry wheel. That's the kind of size I want. So, yeah, for once, I think James Knight may not be completely wrong.
Well, of course he's wrong.
Of course he is. We know he's wrong.
I disagree every week with him, so...
Yeah.
As an owner, I enjoyed a trophy, a decent trophy. Carlisle's done some fantastic trophies in the past, last sort of...
Your front room's like the shop window Timpson's, isn't it? We have that many trophies.
I love a trophy because then you remember it, and it's like you remember the day, and I think that's nice.
You've got toe propping your French doors open when it's on.
The good thing he waits, yeah. The other thing was positive mention for Nottingham. I'm not really keen on the cheesecake idea personally, but I would say that there was a year when I had a third place at Nottingham in a maiden.
Yeah.
The Godolphin horse won. I think it was some massive owner that was second.
You just get the biscuit base then?
No, there were no representatives from Godolphin or other gadgies that were in second.
Yeah.
The track actually came up to me and said, "Oh, would you like the winner's champagne?"
Fucking right.
Yeah.
Oh, Catholic. Yeah.
So I'm not going to slag Nottingham off to it because that was a nice touch. I don't know if they still do that, and I don't know if the winner does get you champagne as well, or I don't know, but that's what they used to do. They used to give you a bottle of champagne and you could drink it at the races.
After James Knight has highlighted this problem at Nottingham, somebody's going to have something finish 7th and cop for the champagne, aren't they?
You just need to run against like Godolphin and all,
back-end maidens and all that. Yeah, no one will turn up.
They don't turn up. So as third placed horse there, got a nice bottle of champagne, so it was nice. It's a fair play Nottingham on that, but I'm not a cheesecake man. I'll want to see a trophy, like a remembrance of your time in racing, which of course has been shit.
If Nottingham are listening, I'll have a fucking cheesecake if they want to send one through.
Yeah, send cheesecake.
Yeah.
Send me a cheesecake. I'll give them a good 5-star review from the Box Farm. Enjoyed my time at Nottingham. Yes, cheesecake very lovely. Yes, please.
Sarah Lee for you.
Yeah, Sarah's partially defrosted.
Rock hard in middle.
Yeah, like nice. global warming couldn't melt that fucker. Yeah.
They were like the opposite of McDonald's apple pies, weren't they? You know, like
Yeah.
Do you know the Americans dropped apple pies on the Viet Cong? They were that hot, honestly. It's like napalm, that filling was the old apple pies in the old days.
We'll finish with Davis's question, and it's a similar one. He says, which racing podcast stars, but I'll extend this to racing media, really, who would you have in a Big Brother house for maximum aggravation? I picked a few here just to kick us off, right, and then we can get going. So I thought Lydia Islop and Mellish.
Bit controversial.
Obviously, Calvin and Yates.
You can stick me in there as well, because I'd be asking them two about that alleged fight that they had, and trying to get me 50 quid back.
Yeah. He's going through the courts as we speak.
He still goes on about that 50 quid back.
I mean, say you didn't really thought that, did you?
He does, he still goes on about it. It's like to this day, go on about it until we both like near deathbed. Which isn't long. But anyway, it could be like McCrearick if they don't fucking like give him his contractual demands. Where's my Diet Coke?
Yes.
You need a couple of mad people as well, like really mad people in racing, a proper round twist, like just to like.
No, Normandy Stud woman.
Yeah, Normandy Stud woman. She definitely.
She's fucking crackers, isn't she?
Absolutely crackers, and she'd have standards job that you'd fail to meet.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah.
Try to think who else. So good list so far. It's a Calvin Yates.
I put Slim 30 in there. It'd be like being back at boarding school, wouldn't it?
What about that fella that always used to own those horses that were always like 5 million to 1 in Gold Cups? Was it Wilson's? The Fergus Wilson, was it? He's a property developer. Quite famous. He used to have a few horses in training, and he's sort of like really, really antagonistic. So you could have him.
He'd get on everybody nerves, wouldn't he? Yeah,
that's it.
I tell you though, they've made biting fucking nails in half. Fella that owns Kai's Chorister.
Clive Washburn, stick him in with Mike Parsage and CJ and Ian Davis.
Oh
my God.
I've been diary room 24/7.
This is getting good now. This mixture's getting tremendous. I'm loving this. Stout and Chapman. Yeah. Done them.
I'd never be out with diary room.
I might come in on one of them challenges.
Like Jimmy Savile chairman.
Yeah. You've got to either have me in or just get more food or something and say, nah, fuck him. Do you want him in or not now? No, we don't. We actually don't.
Food.
Chris definitely would. It'd be food every time.
Oh, yes. No danger.
100. Great question, Davey. So, who would be in your Big Brother house for some absolute carnage? We've given our very best on that, and we hope you enjoyed this show. As always, it's a difficult week to do because it is the worst in the calendar, to be honest, but we've enjoyed it, and we hope you have.
We've still overrun.
We always do. We never underrun. The producer will knock 15 minutes of our bullshit off. That's all from us. Bye for now.